Good afternoon, folks. It's Stuart Leasor from Chiselbury. Haven't spoken to you for a bit, so I thought I'd give you an update. But I'm not going to talk about 2024, which admittedly has been a sensational year. We're going to do that in a week or two at the end of the year itself. What I want to talk to you today about is next year, because next year is looking like going to be even more exciting than this year. And there's a much overused word which we get thrust down our throats at the moment called diversity. And genuinely, it is a much more diverse lineup. We've still got stuff for guns, tanks, aeroplanes coming next year, which I know a lot of you love. But we've also got a lot of different things. We've got a lot more female authors, which I'm really pleased to say. But let's just go through the 7 titles that we have announced to date. The first one, coming on 1st of February, is not by a female, but by Michael Admiral. It's Along the Roads to Hell. This is, as its name suggests, a road to hell. It visits a father and son visiting 8 of the worst concentration camps from the Nazi regime across Central and Western Europe. And it's a sort of travelogue. It gives information. It also describes what these camps were about and why they were particularly evil in their own special way. After that, we have something rather different. Caroline Bullock is a leading newspaper journalist on many national newspapers, and she's written her first novel called The Missing Boy. And as the name suggests, it is about a missing boy, set across France and England. It's flashbacks to a boy who disappeared boys who disappeared in both countries and similarities. And our intrepid heroine, who's a newspaper journalist on a local paper, hunts it down and uncovers or tries to uncover what really happened. And it's a classic thriller. It's really enjoyable. After that, we go on to something completely different, which is the first of 2 autobiographies by women that we're publishing in this coming 6 months. This is Mary Blythe's Ascent of a Woman. She is a Scottish woman who's had a hell of a life. She's had miscarriages, she's had tragedy, and it's her life, how she dealt with the tragedy, how she endured it, how she emerged the other side to be the woman she is now. It truly is her ascent into full-blown womanhood. And that's something I commend to you. And it was one, when I saw the pitch, I thought I have to publish it. Then on 8th of March, International Women's Day, for those who know, we have something rather topical. Abdi Khan, who is a British Asian lawyer based in Birmingham, has written her 3rd novel, which may destroy you. And it's a courtroom thriller, and it's on the subject of gaslighting, which is one that's quite difficult to face, and a lot of people face it, and what is it about? And it's, to use that much overused phrase, it's a sit-up all night thriller. I did when I got the manuscript from Abda. I just started reading and I just had to find out what happened. It's got a delicious twist. It's got courtroom tension. You've got flashbacks. It has a bit of everything, and it explores culture that some of us in Britain don't necessarily know about, which is the British Asian culture, and it's great stuff. Moving on from that, we have something which is very different, which is The Brain Always Wins Too. That's by John Sullivan, who's a leading sports psychologist. He advises NASA, Sport New Zealand, etc. And Chiselbury author Chris Parker. And they tackle that most important vital organ of the body, namely the brain. And it's how you can use the brain to improve your life. It's groundbreaking, and the endorsement is from a Navy SEAL who worked with Chris and just said he saved his life, and so it can save yours and make yours. We then move on to the second of our female autobiographies, which is by Pamela O'Coneen. It's called With All My Soul, and it's a story of a young Australian girl, Pamela, who comes over to Europe in the late 60s and falls in love, but not falls in love with what's good. When I say not what's good, falls in love in the way that one expects to. She falls in love with a Roman Catholic priest. Real forbidden love. And it's how they together get over this and end up having 50 years together and so it's a story of love. It's a story of overcoming difficulty, a story of faith, And it's perhaps another taboo subject, like gaslighting, is, Catholic priests marrying. It's an issue that I know some people worry about, but it's a beautiful story. And finally, of the ones which were announced, is Ian Pegg's Death and Heroes. Some of you have seen this trailed. Ian has written a book about that most important of people on the battlefield, but not the guys who carry guns, grenades, fly the fighter planes, drive the tanks. It's the Padres. And any of us who've served know the role they play is vital. And it's not just burying the dead or giving last rites and help to people injured. It's giving guidance to people with difficulties, with moral difficulties, and giving advice and guidance to commanding officers and leaders on as they go about their duties. So it's a really important book about a really important subject that's not really been tackled to date. And I think it's going to be shattering, and I recommend you read it. All these 7 titles are on Chiselbury website, available for pre-order. They're also coming on pre-order on Waterstones and Amazon on a Kindle. And so they're available, and you've got a special discount at the moment, Chiselbury Xmas, you get 20% off if you make your order before Christmas. But so I'm delighted to wrap up with what we're going to do for the first half of next year. We've got a couple of other ones we're going to bring out, but you have to wait for those. And I'll be back in a couple of weeks to review 2024. Thank you for listening.